I just wanted a quiet evening. No arguments, no unnecessary words, just a family dinner. We hadn't gone out together for a long time, and this restaurant seemed perfect. Cozy room, soft light, a menu promising calm. But perfection falls apart quickly. Sometimes it only takes one person. The waiter appeared as if summoned by someone else's will. A young man, with a lazy walk and a look that read like irritation, as if we were intruding on his personal life. He dropped the menus on the table without meeting my gaze. "Decide," he muttered and disappeared. I pretended not to notice. My husband shrugged. My mother frowned. My daughter hid behind her phone. Awkwardness hung in the air, and I caught myself thinking, this is our family. Everyone retreats into their shell, just to avoid saying too much. When the waiter returned, mistakes piled up one after another. I ordered a salad without onions. He brought it with onions. My husband asked for medium rare meat. It came completely raw. My mother wanted tea. She got coffee. And instead of apologizing, he spoke dryly with pressure. "You could have explained properly, you know?" I felt my blood boil, but for some reason I stayed silent. Silence had become a habit. Not just in restaurants. My husband calmly pushed his plate away, as if it didn't matter. His eternal strategy. Smooth things over, stay quiet, don't get involved. My mother commented on the waiter's work, but not to him, to me. "You could have said it more politely. See, he's tired." I nodded, though everything inside me was boiling. Is it normal to excuse someone else's rudeness? Is it right to pretend nothing happened? My daughter hunched over, tapping her screen. Sometimes I thought she was doing it on purpose to avoid seeing how we live. She's only 12, yet I already see myself in her. It's frightening. The waiter returned again. He placed the forks and knives as if throwing them. "I'll bring the sauce later," he said. "If I don't forget." And smirked. I breathed in. My husband rolled his eyes to the ceiling. My mother took out a handkerchief, nervously crumpling it in her hands. And suddenly I realized this dinner wasn't about food. Not even about the waiter. It was a mirror. We're all sitting here, pretending everything is fine, while inside each of us, fatigue, resentment, irritation, unspoken words. I watched my husband drink water calmly, as if the rudeness hadn't touched him. My mother searching for faults in my tone, my daughter dissolving into her phone, and I wanted to scream. But I stayed silent again. The food cooled faster than the conversation. Or rather, the conversation never started. We sat at the table in silence, each in our role. My husband, the indifferent observer. My mother, the eternal controller. My daughter, the runaway into the virtual world. And I, the connecting thread, long overstretched, about to snap. The waiter came and went, as if deliberately testing my patience. "The sauce?" I reminded him. He sighed theatrically, rolling his eyes. I said later, "I've got a lot of orders." I felt my mother tense beside me. She hated rudeness, but hated scenes even more. "Don't pay attention," she whispered. "See, young nerves." But I wanted to ask, what about my nerves? My fatigue? My right to just have one calm dinner? When he brought the drinks, he set the glass of juice so sharply that a few drops spilled on the tablecloth. My daughter blinked, moving her phone aside, but said nothing. "Napkins?" I asked. "They're on the table." He snapped and left. I grabbed a napkin myself, wiping the stain, and suddenly noticed my hands were shaking. Anger? Helplessness? I couldn't tell anymore. At that moment, my husband finally spoke. "Listen, let's not ruin the evening. We'll eat and leave. No point in the nerves." I looked at him speechless. Because he wasn't talking about the waiter. He was talking about our whole life. Don't ruin it. Eat and leave. That's all we had left. The waiter came back one more time, taking an order at the neighboring table. A noisy group. They smiled, joked, and he responded willingly, politely, like a different person. I watched this performance and felt torn apart. Why is he normal with them but not with us? "You take things too personally," my mother muttered. How else? I burst out. Why should I endure it? She bit her lip. My husband pretended not to hear again, and then I realized it wasn't about the waiter anymore. He had become a spark thrown into long-dried grass. Excuse me, I said louder than necessary. You're not finished serving us. Finish your work here first, then take new orders. He turned to me with a smirk. Seriously? You want to tell me how to work? There are dozens like you every evening. I don't have to please everyone. The restaurant quieted for a second. A few eyes turned to us. I felt my face burn, my throat dry. And for the first time in a long while, I didn't stay silent. No, you do, I said. It's your job, he shrugged. And you have to pay for it, he replied, nodding ironically at the check. Then he left. The silence at our table became almost unbearable. I sat, gripping the napkin, thinking I was about to snap. But I didn't know where. At him, my family, myself. The waiter left, leaving us at this table like actors who had forgotten their lines. And suddenly I realized, if I stay silent again, it will be the end. Not of dinner, but of me. I stood up. The chair creaked and a few people looked our way. I didn't like being the center of attention, but it didn't matter anymore. Excuse me, I addressed the room loudly. Maybe I'm too demanding. Maybe I'm wrong. But respect is not a privilege. It's the norm. And if that isn't understood here, then people should get the same treatment in return. The waiter stood at the counter, pretending to be busy. His face fell when he realized I was talking about him. I went straight to the counter. People at the tables watched with interest, some smiling, some judging. Your name? I asked. He hesitated. It doesn't matter. It does, I replied. A name? I will leave a review on this place's website. Excuse me. The service here is not restaurant level. You think customers will tolerate everything? Maybe, but I won't. Give me the complaint book and take the check. I'm not paying. I took the check, wrote my name and phone number, and threw it on the counter. If your management has questions, they can call. I'll explain what happened, every detail. The waiter wanted to argue, but words got stuck. I saw confusion flash in his eyes, for the first time all evening. Returning to the table, I sat calmly. My husband looked at me in surprise, my mother with slight disapproval, my daughter with wide eyes. Mom, you're so cool, she whispered, and that was worth more than any smile from the waiter. We left earlier than planned. I didn't finish my salad. My husband didn't touch his meat. My mother grumbled that I exaggerated, but my daughter walked beside me, her hand holding mine tightly. No one stopped us. We left calmly. That same evening, I got a call. Not from an apologetic manager or supervisor, the owner himself. He said, I was in the hall today. I saw everything. Thank you for not staying silent, for speaking openly. Honestly, I hadn't noticed. That person no longer works here. We'll welcome you anytime. Your next visit is on the house. I listened and realized it wasn't about the free dinner or the waiter being fired. The problem didn't leave with him. It stayed there at our table. My husband still stays silent. My mother still searches for someone to blame. My daughter still hides behind her phone. The waiter will be replaced. But there's no one to replace us. And the real conversation, I still have to have. But no longer at the restaurant counter, at home. Because the silence we carry for years destroys far more than any rudeness.